It's time to get unmasked. Please welcome your host, Pamela Elaine Nichols and Cheryl A.S. Haley.
Welcome everyone to once again to Unmasked Real Talk Live. This is a place where we get real about topics that are not often discussed openly. Each week on Unmasked Real Talk Live, we give you an opportunity to share your thoughts and opinions about the topic we unmask. You have our permission to get unmasked here with us so you can feel better, look better, and live better out there. Stay until the end and be eligible for a special raffle. Today's raffle is a $500 coupon off our popular coaching program called Think Again. Change your thoughts, change your life. This is a 10-week program where Cheryl and I teach and coach you an easy to learn technique that will help you think positively about yourself, raise your self-confidence, and see your challenges differently. If you change the way you see yourself, the things that you see will change as well. All right, there's still time to register as our second class is tonight at 7:00 p.m. Eastern Time. I'm telling you guys, you do not want to miss this course. It is so dynamic and so helpful. You can go on our website and you can look at all the testimonials that we've gathered of students who graduated from our course, whose lives have been changed because they changed the way they thought about themselves and they changed the way they looked at their problems. Their problems now, they know how to deal with them in a new way that has set them free. So we're doing 30 days, no expense, no obligation. There really isn't a good reason for you not to join the course and check it out, at least for the next 3 weeks that we are giving away our dynamic coaching services. All right. Anyway, every week we do a challenge based on the topic of the show. Last week's challenge was self-care is healthcare. Thank you so much, Amanda Bedell, for coming on our show and getting so real about your health challenge, how you overcame it, and how you are still overcoming your condition. If you all saw the show, Amanda shared very openly about the cancer she had. She's in remission. She did a lot of important healthcare practices, including taking these healthy foods that everybody needs to put in their body. So hope you watch that. If you have some questions about it, ask us. You can always tag Amanda in our Facebook group, in our private group, and get some more answers from her. Anyway, each day we provided a tip that challenged you to identify one wellness goal to support your overall well-being. We want to do a shout out to those who consistently, we have a group of women here who consistently post and share and engage. And we want you to know, ladies, that we are grateful that you care enough about yourself and other people to share your journey and your story and to participate in the challenges. So thank you. Our new challenge starts today, Tuesday, and ends next Monday, which is always the day before the live show. We want you to participate by sharing your experience with this challenge in our members-only Facebook group. This week is a Live Better challenge called Breaking Free. Everybody say it with me. Breaking free, okay? Where are you not free? Well, we want to help you with that. Each day for the next 7 days, we challenge you to identify at least one lie, and there are probably many, many lies that you've been telling yourself, such as, I'm not good enough, or I don't matter, or I'm not special enough, I'm not tall enough, I'm not thin enough, I'm not pretty enough, I'm not competent enough, okay? All those lies we tell ourselves. I don't matter, nobody cares about me, I'm the only one struggling. Here's how it would go. As usual, Cheryl or I will drop the instructions in the morning for that day's challenge. Mm-hmm. The instructions will challenge you to identify a lie you've been telling yourself so that you can tell yourself an opposite story. And Cheryl and I will help you with that. So if you tell us the lie you've been telling yourself, we'll give you a chance to come up with an opposite story. And if you struggle with that, then we'll jump in and we'll offer you some food for thought, or we'll tweak it. So we want you to feel comfortable to get Unmasked in our group on this challenge. So you can share a video if you like, or just post text if you like in the group, but we want to know what's the lie so we can help you change that story. All right, for today's show, post your comments as below, as usual, comments, and we ask you to ask any questions you have so we can laser coach you as we go along. Okay, Cheryl, take it over.
Hello again, everyone. Today's topic is breaking free, letting go of the lies we tell ourselves. Now, there's a quote from Beth Moore that says, "As God took me through the journey that became the Bible study, breaking free, He taught me to look for a common denominator among the things that triggered my destructive habits." How powerfully true that is for many of us. Did you know that every lie we hold within our hearts about ourselves fits underneath the umbrella of these three statements? Now, listen to these three statements. I am not enough. And if I am not enough, I will not be loved. And lastly, I don't matter. So how do you reveal and then let go of the lies you've been telling yourselves? And I'm going to change that a little bit and say the lies we've been telling ourselves. We all lie to ourselves every single day. Here are just a few examples of the lies that we tell ourselves. Now imagine your boss says to you to change the way you do something at work. The lie you tell yourself is this: you aren't good enough at your job. Now imagine your daughter or son cries because you can't take them to their friend's house and they have to stay home. The lie you tell yourself is, I'm a terrible parent. How many of us can relate to that? And lastly, your significant other or your sister friend has been withdrawn and distant lately, and you're wondering, what did you do to make them angry? The lie you tell yourself is, it's my fault. Life coach Tony Robbins quotes, it's not the situation, it's the meaning we give to it that makes all the difference. And that meaning, if more negative than positive, can destroy. Listen, it can destroy your self-confidence, your courage, and your relationships. And it's some of the ways we create the lies that we tell ourselves. So when we start to think about it, and as you notice, this is where we get unmasked right here. I'm just going to come clean and come real. I'm having a serious bad hair day, and you see this hat on my head. The lie that I would have told myself in the past is, oh, I can't go on the show. My hair is not the way I normally like it to be. I'm not going on the show. And if I take it a step further, I told my sister girl that if she laughed on me, she was going to do the show by herself. But again, she laughed and I'm still here, because sometimes we have to recognize the lies that we tell ourselves that we can't do something and just keep it real. So I'm just keeping it real. While I am somewhat feeling some kind of way with this hat on my head, again, the lie that would stop us from going forth and what we've been called to do is when we believe the lie. So I don't know about you, but I just had to open that up and put it out there. I had to put it out. Yeah, she laughed at me, y'all. She seriously laughed at me hard. I'm sure the tears she was trying to hold the tears back. When we think about it, I want you to have a conversation with us. Tell us what, Pam, what comes up for you when you think about the lies that you've told yourself, and might even today.
Well, first, I want to just acknowledge you for just getting real unmasked there, girl. You went way out there to be unmasked. I just applaud you for that, because part of the lie you were also telling yourself is that nobody's going to take you seriously if your hair ain't did. Right?
Say it.
Nobody's going to take you seriously. They're going to be too busy looking at what's going on with her hair. And that is, in fact, a lie. And I'm glad you just dealt with it up front. Yeah. So if people are thinking like, wait, Cheryl, I don't understand. We can just move on past because you put it out there.
That's right. That's right. And when we do that, it frees us, it liberates us to walk in our truth and to own our voice. And how many times, and I know that, we're not the only ones that we've allowed things like this to cause us to get stuck. We've caused it to let us get stuck. Yes,
absolutely. And what I am excited about is that we're bringing up an issue that, because most people don't even recognize that they're telling themselves these lies. I'll say it again. I'll say it a million times. We have between 60,000 and 80,000 thoughts per day. That's a heck of a lot of thoughts.
Yes, it
The
is.
majority of them, according to science, the majority of those thoughts are repetitive and negative. So most of the day, we're having the same old thought that's negative, and we're not even aware of it. But once we become aware that we are actually thinking, that we have some control over our thinking, then we can really be free. We can really be free. So I'm so glad that you went there, my sister girl. Do you want to just tell everybody that you're going to take care of it a little later on the day?
I am at 4:00. The hair gonna be done. Okay, it will be right. It will be right. But until then, we're gonna keep it moving, and we're not gonna get stuck. And as I listen to my sister girl share, one of the things I want to tell you that I've been up since probably 5:15 a.m. this morning. I had plenty of time to do whatever I needed to do. It was right before preparing for the show that lie crept up, that mental chatter. Well, what are you gonna do about your hair? I'm like, oh, that's right. I got to do something with my hair. But that's how things happen. Like, we don't think about it right away. But when we're preparing to do something, these little things, the little idiosyncrasies that get in the way that can cause you to become stagnant or stuck. So I want you to be mindful of that. It doesn't happen early on. It happens right before you're getting ready to execute something. So, I'm just grateful that, again, being transparent, because the same things that we tell youth that come in every week, we unmask here so that we can be real out there. So even with my hair done, I still will be comfortable in my skin, because it's not about the hair and how many times we allow things external to us. And that's when we think about the challenges that we've shared, talked about our happiness is not based upon the external, it's the internal. So you change your mind, change your thoughts, you master your life. So I'm glad to be sitting here with the glasses on, the hat on, the whole 9 yards. But don't ask me to take this hat off, because I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to take it off.
Come on, you can come on and get totally free when you take the hat off. Now, you want to be free? Take the hat off.
This is free as it's going to get.
but you know what I'm thinking about? I'm thinking about how often we don't go after things we want. Because we are believing this lie that somehow or another I have to look a certain way, I have to talk a certain way, I have to behave a certain way in order to be eligible or qualified to have this or go after this or that. Like one of the things that I struggle with is, like, I love to do videos. I mean, I think the kind of personality I have lends itself well to being on video, to encourage women, to support women, to drop nuggets of inspiration. And just about every single day, like the day before, I'm like, I'm gonna do a video tomorrow. I'm gonna encourage my sisters by video. And then it's like, I can't do that because my hair is not right, or my makeup's not like, oh my goodness, here's a zit. Did you see the zit? And what is this black mark here? What is? And next thing you know, I haven't done any video. I have not stepped out into what God has called me to do. I'm still sitting behind. I'm still pretending. I'm so glad we're having this conversation, because I feel myself being set free here.
I know you're right. I know you're right. I know you're right. Because what happens is that we've talked about past conversations. We've talked about perfection. And sometimes what happens, and not even perfection, you could take it a step further, comparison. When we turn to look out again, there goes looking at things external to ourselves. And it looks so perfect, but we never know, or we never count the cost. What did that person do to make that look so perfect? How much money did they spend to have this, that, and the other, rather than just being authentic, daring to be vulnerable, daring to make a mistake, daring to trip up on your word, or slip up and not be perfect, and recognize that people who are looking for realness, that's what they appreciate. They appreciate the authenticity rather than somebody making it look perfect, because they're gifted people that we know, talented people that have gifts beyond measure, but they will not move forward because they'll look at perfection and think, well, I don't do it like that, or I don't sound like that, or I don't look like that, so I can't do it. We are here to encourage you. Step out of whatever bondage, whatever that trap is, whatever that lie is that you've been telling yourself, and move forward in your purpose. I see someone put there in the chat, I told myself I'm not qualified. Girl, we done told ourselves that so many times as well. But guess what? When you step out, you'll find out just how qualified you are in what it is that you've been called to do.
And that person's confession right there leads us right into our unmasked statement here. Okay, here's our unmasked statement. What lie have you been telling yourself that has you stuck? What lie or lies have you been telling yourself that has you stuck? And as you pointed out, Cheryl, some very brave person said, I told myself I'm not qualified. And I would love to ask her, not qualified for what?
Yes.
What are you saying you're not qualified for? So Cheryl and I can drop a few nuggets here to sort of help you get free. But I've had that same challenge, Cheryl, that I'm not qualified. You know, I'm not qualified, and that has had me stuck as well from doing, like I said, from either doing, stepping out and speaking, stepping into the purpose that God has called me to do. I'm like, well, I'm not sure. It's sort of like, what was the biblical character who stuttered? Was it Moses?
Moses.
Who stuttered?
Mm-hmm.
Moses didn't think he was qualified because he stuttered. But God, and I think God enjoys calling us, those of us who feel like we may not have enough, so that he can be far more powerful within us. So I want to tell my sister, it's okay if you don't feel qualified, because that gives God room to step in and elevate you through him.
Yes, yeah. You know, Pam, as you shared that, I thought about a teaching that T.D. Jakes did once, and he talked about when you think that you're least qualified is the best position to be, because you become more available and free for God to use you, because you're not coming in based upon all of your intellect, all of your knowledge, and all of the things that you bring. You're at a place that you don't feel good enough, only for him to show you just how good enough you are for his use. So I'm glad that you mentioned that. And again, for anybody, whether you look at the replay of this, we want you to be inspired and encouraged. Don't let that stop you, that you don't feel like you're qualified. Move up to it. And the other thing, that if you notice what our users said, they said, I told myself. So with that told, I'm looking at that as a past tense, like you're telling yourself a new story right now. And I love that. I told myself I'm not qualified.
And then, look what the answer she gave.
Yeah. Not qualified for a raise in my current position. Girlfriend. I would say probably 75% of the raises that I ever got, I asked for them. Because see, what happens is that sometimes we can find ourselves in a place waiting for someone to acknowledge our personal greatness. And what happened is, I had a boss once tell me that I said, well, I do a good job. And he said to me, quite frankly, that's why I hired you, because you had the skills to do a good job. When raises come in, when you go above and beyond the good job. So I recognized that. I said, oh, so that means I got to ask for what I want. So I execute and I ask, and guess what? I got the raise. So again, it's owning our voice. When we feel that we are good enough, we will own our voice for what we want.
Wait, now she says, I've now asked for a raise. Does that mean something you're going to do, my friend? Or is this a new story that you're telling yourself? Did you ask for it and you didn't get it? Like, clarify that for us for a second. Because when you say you're not qualified for a raise, my first thought was, based on what? Let's go into our thinking.
Yes.
You're not qualified for a raise because you don't have the skill set. Is it something like really real, like we can justify it? Or is it something that you're telling yourself, which is what you said in the beginning? I've told myself. Cheryl and I want to know where you're coming from with this. So I've now asked for a raise. Did you do that? Or are you planning to do that? Okay. So while she responds to that, I love this unmasked question that we have. Oh, I've asked and waiting for a response. Okay, great. Now, if you get a no response, what is the story you're going to tell yourself then? Because it's easy if you get a yes response. You're going to be good, right? You're going to, you'll be fine. But what if it comes back and you don't get the raise that you want? Okay. So I'd like to know the answer to that. Because we want to prepare you now for positioning your mindset that you're qualified for a raise. But if you're not qualified, then you're not. Then let's be practical and what do you need to do to qualify for a raise? What are the tangible, practical steps that you need to take to be qualified for a raise. Let's get that done. But if you are qualified and you're underselling yourself, that's when we need to jump into the mindset here.
I think that's powerful that they ask for a raise and waiting for the response. Mm-hmm.
Okay. I do too. I do too. We want to just make sure. I believe she's typing, getting ready to respond to us. But so let's move into our while we're waiting. Let's move into our 3 takeaways then.
Yes,
I'm looking at the time, goes so fast. So 3 takeaways for you ladies, and then maybe this one will help our sister who's going to respond to us. Number 1, let go. By listening to what your body and head are telling you, you will know when the lies are talking because you will feel the tension growing somewhere in your body. For me, it's in my stomach. For you, it might be in your shoulder, in your neck, in your head. Pay attention to what your body is saying. And when this happens, you must back up and ask yourself, why am I reacting? Why is my body reacting this way?
Yes. And the second one is to let go by honestly asking yourself the tough questions. Don't mess around. Don't beat around the bush. Cut right to the root and ask yourself, do I believe I am enough? Do I have what it takes? Do I think that I matter? If you don't like the answers, courageously ask for guidance. We are here to help you and help you learn how to change your thoughts because this is what we're passionate about doing. And we don't want anybody to think that they're not enough and that they don't matter.
Number 3, let go by focusing on building your strengths, not your weaknesses. This is so important. Yes. Counteract the lies by recognizing all you are instead of all you are not. Focusing on who you are rather than who you are not. Okay? Those are 3 great tips we want you all to take away. Yes. Before we get to the raffle, it looks like we have a response.
Yes.
Okay. If I get a no, I'll ask why not. Well, you know what that tells me, sister? That means you do think you might be qualified. So let's go back to the beginning where you said, I told myself I'm not qualified. If you ask for something, then we have to now help you change that story that you are qualified because you asked. You believe something of your qualification, right? Otherwise, why did you even ask? So we need to help you change that story. So sure, I'm going to offer to her the story from I told myself I'm not qualified to I am qualified to get a raise and I expect a raise. Now, that's a story we want you to digest. I am qualified for a raise and I expect a raise. There's nothing wrong with that. And if that story that feels a little bit odd to you, then help us help you come up with a better story than I have told myself I'm not qualified. What do you have, Cheryl?
And I was going to say to ask our user to respond, how does that work for them? Because the story that you tell yourself, in order to change it, it has to be equal to or greater to the lie that you've been telling yourself. And what happens is when you say, if I get a no, what Pam just offered, it changes or shifts that from an if because there's an expectation now. So my question would be, how does the suggestion that she offered work with you? And if that, she said, it feels good to me. Well, if that feels good to you, then what happens is that when you make that statement, I have asked, if I get a no, that goes away because your new statement is that I feel that I am qualified and I am entitled to the raise. And I'm waiting to see, I would just add how much it's going to be. How much?
Let's get specific.
Get very specific. Be very specific.
And one of the things that we want to offer before we get to this raffle, oh my goodness, to you, user, is that your life will follow the story you tell yourself. This is what we teach in the Think Again course. And if you're not in that course, girlfriend, you need to come tonight. Your life will follow the story you tell yourself. So let us tell ourselves an empowering story. We make up the disempowering story. If we're the author of the disempowering story, we are also the author of an empowering story. Okay, so let's do the raffle.
Yes.
Okay. Well, we know we're gonna tell Danielle to give that gift certificate to someone else, offer it to someone else, because Danielle is one of our lovely graduates of the Think Again program. So Danielle, pass that on to someone else, help them get the breakthroughs that you got. And of course, Danielle, you know that you're, as a student graduate, you are welcome to come back to the course every single time to get refreshed and renewed, to re-look at the breakthrough techniques that we taught you. You're always welcome back into the coaching program. Drop in, drop out, however you feel.
Awesome.
Okay.
So,
we got
as we prepare to wrap up for next week, remember the challenge for this week is to break free from the lies we tell ourselves. Today is the easiest of the challenges. All you need to do today is post a video or share a comment of yourself sharing the lie you chose to break free from. Next week, we will mask another topic. We want you to message us with any topics that you want us to unmask, because as you saw today, we are unmasking, getting real in here so we can be real and authentic out there. So again, we've already made an announcement about the class on tonight, our online course, Think Again. If you're challenged with your thinking, or you're not enough, or that you don't matter, and you're ready to master your thoughts so that you can change your lives, we encourage you to register for this life-changing program. We had our first class on last week. We have another one on tonight at 7 p.m. If you register, we will send all the information to you. Until then, we will see you here next week at the same time, right here in our Unmasked Real Talk Live. Have an amazing afternoon. Stay hydrated and stay cool.
And you can say that I'm crazy,